Hi everybody, Deb Tucker here from Studio 180 Design. I'm going to talk to you today about one of the newest tools in our lineup called the 4-patch square up. I've been asked for years about developing a tool to do what all my tools do, which is make your units slightly oversized and trim them down. The 4-patch square up is the tool that's going to do that for us. So let's take a look at the tool itself. It comes with a set of instructions, but pretty much everything you need is right on the tool. You've got the name of the tool, you've got a little icon on the tool that shows you what it's designed to work with. You also have a chart on the tool, and the chart is a measurement chart that allows you to quickly identify what size square or what size strips you need to cut to be able to build your 4 patches a little bit larger than they need to be. And then of course we have the trim down sections. On the two diagonally opposite corners, we have trim down sections here for whole inch increments, and we have trim down sections here for half-inch increments. This tool actually does 12 different size 4-patch units, from 1/2 inch finished 4-patch units up to 6-inch finished 4-patch units. And remember, when you're working with any of my tools, the finished size is the size the unit is when all the seams are sewn and the unit is in your project. That's the finished size. So, how do we go about making 4 patches? Well, the first thing you're going to want to do is determine what size 4 patch you want to make. Once you do that, you can consult the chart that's on the tool. There's also another chart. If you open your set of instructions, and there are 2 different sizes that we give you. This chart allows you to make a choice. You can cut your strips or squares either 1/4 of an inch bigger, or you can merely cut them 1/8 of an inch bigger. But I know some of you really do not want to deal with 1/8 of an inch. So if you don't, pick the size that seems most simple for you. But you're going to cut, you've got a couple choices when you build your 4 patches. One of the choices is to cut each of the individual squares one at a time and put them together. Put a pink and a green together, put a green and a pink together. I generally don't like to make my 4 patches this way. It takes too much time. What I usually prefer, especially when I'm making just a simple 2-color 4 patch, is to cut and create strip sets. The strip sets, I'm using the chart to cut the strip the size that's listed, piece them together with a regular 1/4 of an inch seam, press them in the same direction. I would press these toward the pink because the pink seems to be a little bit darker. And then what I'm going to do from those strip sets is subcut pairs of squares already sewn together. But there's another cutting trick here that's going to save you, again, a lot of time. Instead of cutting these individually and then taking the time to align them at your sewing machine, you can align your entire strip set side by side. Take a few extra minutes to make sure that you're carefully aligning the edges and the seams. Then when you make your subcuts, what you're going to find is they're already positioned together. It saves you time. You don't have to pick up 2 pieces and align them at the sewing machine. Now, I'm going to stitch these together along one side. When I do the stitching, I have a couple of options. I can stitch on this side, leading with the pink square, or I can stitch on this side. Both of those are going to give me the same 4 patch, but I prefer to do that first thing, where I stitch from the pink into the green. So I'm stitching into the seam. When you do that, it tends to make your seams match better in the center. And that's one of the key points of your 4 patches. You want that good center match. So when I stitch them, I'll use my best 1/4 of an inch seam. I'll chain piece them one behind the other. Once I do that, I'll cut them apart from my chains, and then I'm going to head to my iron and give these a press. You have some choices here too. Many quilters would choose to either press one way or press the other. But there's a little trick. If you remove the couple of stitches that are right there, and you remove those couple of stitches that are right there, it's going to allow you to spin the seams for your pressing. You can use a seam ripper to pull those out if you'd like, but you can also just put your fingernails underneath there, give them a little twist. That's going to allow that unit to spin so that all the seams go in the same direction. Makes for a very flat center, and your machine quilters, they're going to love it when you do that because your seams are nice and flat. So once you give them a press, spin your seams, your units are ready for the trimming. That's where your 4-patch tool comes into play. And what you're going to look at, I'm making a 4-inch finished unit. These are the 1/2-inch increments. I'm going to turn the tool around and find the circles that are the whole inches. Making a 4-inch unit, I'm specifically looking for this circle with the 4. That circle is my mid-center bullseye. When I put that over top of my center, I've got broken lines, north and south, east and west, that are going to align with the sewn seams in my unit, and I'm going to be ready to trim. Now, I set this up right-handed because I'm right-handed. That's how I'll come back and do my trimming. But remember, like all Studio 180 design tools, these are easily used by left-handed as well. For left-handers, instead of a horizontal placement, you'll do a vertical placement, but you're looking at the same increments. You're looking at the circle with the 4 lining up in the center. You're looking for the broken lines to align with your seams. You will then come up the side and across the top to give you your trim. Now, it's not pretty if I try to do it left-handed, so I'm going to go back to my right-handed arrangement here. Circle in the middle, north-south, east-west. Do my first trim. I've got a clean square corner. I've got squares that are exactly the right size. Lift the tool. Rotate the unit 180 degrees. For those of you who don't know, that's kind of where my business name came from. So now you know the secret behind Studio 180. Repeat. Put that 4-inch center circle, bullseye, in the middle. Your north, south, your east, and west. Do your next trim. The other thing that happens when you do that second trim is you have those cleanup lines at the 4.5 inches, ensuring that the unit you've just trimmed is exactly the right size. The edges are straight and even. The seams are placed where they need to be. You got a perfect unit. You can team it up with any other perfect unit, and you're going to end up building better quilts because the building blocks you're working with are better in the end, and you have minimal fabric that's going into your trash can. Now, sometimes you have just 2-color 4-patches, and you can see how we do those, but frequently you're going to want to make a 4-patch that has different colors in it. Maybe you want to do something scrappy. You can build this 4-patch by cutting individual strips. Cut a blue and a purple strip, cut a pink and a green strip, put them together like you did the strip piecing in the past, press them toward the dark. In this pair, I would press them toward the purple. In this pair, I would press them toward the pink. Once I get them pressed, take those same strip sets and layer them together. Not dark on dark, but opposite so that the seams are nesting. Then go ahead and subcut my units just like before. Stitch into my seam, open it up, take my oversized unit and trim it to a precision size. Need to put my glasses on obviously to do this one, but put that 4-inch circle in the middle, north, south, east, and west guidelines, trim, and you've got a perfect size unit. So I'm going to encourage you to head off to your local quilt shop, find this tool, put it in your toolbox. If you can't find it there, you can come visit me at my website and we'll get one of these in your hands. I know you're going to be glad to have this tool in your hand for making 4-patches that you will see in so many of our traditional quilting patterns. Good luck to everybody. Send me photos when you're done. Love to see them. Thanks, everybody.